Hello guys, how are you doing? I'm Muhammad Owais and we're going to start a new series on multiplayer. So as a sample project, we are going to create a fully fledged multiplayer FPS game. So right now we are going to use an asset of the environment pack, which is, let me show you, uh, Sky City Light, okay? So this asset provides you FPS controller as well, and I think we are good to go with it, okay? So I'm gonna open it. So here's what we got an environment, basic environment, and we got a simple first person controller. So now we will create a shooting system and of course multiplayer networking as well. So let's begin. So here we're going to use the mirror. uh, Let me type mirror. Mirror is basically a free open source multiplayer networking solution, which is really powerful to make a fully fledged multiplayer that you can use for the market. So let's import it. Okay, it's being imported. Okay, here we go. So it will take a while, like 30 to 1 minute. Uh, sorry, 30 seconds to 1 minute. Okay, so let's wait. Uh, okay, it's compiling the scripts. So I'm gonna pause the video. For it. Okay. Mm, okay. It's loading, and now it's created. Okay, fine, good. So here we go. So what I can do is I need to create an FPS network object. Okay, so this is our player. Let me show you this. So for the time being, I'm gonna add a capsule, but we will replace it by a third person player, which will be shown on the other client that a person is moving. Of course, you are not going to see your third person view, but rather the gun on the hand. So yeah, I created a capsule. Don't worry, we're going to replace it by the humanoid character in the future. So stay with me. Okay. Now you can see that the controller is based on the character controller, which is pretty good. But I guess I will need to create another cooling system because the character controller doesn't detect the triggers. So yeah, it has rigid body as well. Okay, good. Now I will create a network identity. Okay, this component, let me zoom it. uh, okay, so you can see there are a lot of the components for the network. We need a network identity, which is basically a network game object. Every game object that has a network identity has some kind of the connection to the main player. So this asset is going to be our network identity. So I have to check this one only to unchecked. Okay, so you can see that it's for shown, for hidden, and default is good. So now you can see that we are using rigid body, and I can add network rigid body as well, but for the time being I'm using just network transform. Okay, this network transform will synchronize my player position across the network on the different machines. So you can see that it's taking the target, which is basically our FPS controller. Okay, so you can see that it's over here. Now make sure that you have enabled the client authority. Okay, if you don't allow the client authority, then other player won't be able to see the latest position of the client. So make sure that's clicked. Okay, so now there is a sync position, scale, rotation, sync, I guess. Yeah, but you don't have to sync the scale as well, because I don't want to give some kind of lag, because the scale will be also going to the network, but I don't want it. Okay, so here's a debug. Not gonna use it for now. Okay, and the sync direction client to server and server to client. I think the client to server is really good. Okay, now there's sync interval. Okay, why I can't enable it? Like 0.1. Uh, no idea what's in it. It's kind of like a bug. Okay, okay, good. Here we go. Now what I have to do is I create a new folder. I name it network prefab. Okay, network prefab, and I'm going to create an prefab variant of it. Again, the prefab variant. Okay, because this is going to be my root player, so I'm gonna create it over here. Okay, good. So now I need to save the scene. I'm going to save the scene, and I name it network scenes. Okay, and here is our online scene. Okay, I stayed playground. Okay, good. Now I'm going to network prefab. Sorry, network scenes, and create a new scene over here. Okay, so I name it kind of menu. Okay, now I open it. So I think that I disable it. Okay, yeah, it's good. Okay, for the time being I am going to use default UI, but we will change in the future as well. Okay, so going to create a canvas, and yeah, I think that we don't need it for now because the mirror will create another for us. Good. Now I'm going to add a network manager, and we are using the network manager. Okay, we will use a custom network manager in the future, but for the time being we are using network manager. Okay, so this network manager needs two scenes, like offline scene and the online scene. I can use directly the main scene over here. If I do it, I have to leave the online scene empty, but I'm using like this. The reason behind is that you might notice in the multiplayer games there's another lobby, and the main scene is another way. So I'm doing it like it. Okay, so you see that there's offline scene as well. Okay, so now I just drag my lobby scene over here. I think I should name it instead of menu. I say rename. I say it lobby. Okay, so going to load it. Oh, sorry, reload it, and now I need to create another scene as well. So network manager, I'm going to repeat the steps, and I added network manager, and I have to create a playground and the lobby. Okay, here we go. Now you can see that it's required in transport, and when I click it, you see there's no transport here. The reason is that there's no transport right now. So mirror provides you some default transports, but we are going to use this maybe steam transport so that you can play the game over the network with different people around the globe. But for the time being we are going to use the KCP transport. Okay, the KCP transport is basically an GDP transport, which is technically unreliable. So you can see that the default settings are good, but if the latency is bad, I would prefer that you use the telepathy. But for time being, we are going to use the KCP transport. Okay. Now I'm going to give the reference of network manager over here. So what I have to do now? I have to go to my assets, network prefab, and I'm going to put my player prefab over here. Okay, here we go. So leave the auto create player checked. So if I do it, see what will happen. Okay, so I open the scene, but you will see that nothing will happen. The game will not start. The game is started, but you can see over here because there is no interaction. So I have to create an UI that can allow me to create or join the servers. but Mirror provides some built-in system, but of course we will going to replace it with our custom discovery system. But for the time being we are not going to use it because I have to keep the things the minimal. Okay, so good. Now I'm going to start the game. So as I start the game, I'm clicking the start host, and boom. Oh, see, you can see that it says that the playground is not added on the build system. So I'm going to add this scene, and I'm going to add our playground scene over here. Okay, good. Now let's start the game. And as I start the game and start the host, boom, and we are in the game. And if I move it, you can see that the character is moving like this. The lighting is disturbed because I have not built the lighting, and the light of the after the swing just got the faded. But after the build, it won't be happen. So let me just create and build of the game. Okay, stay tuned. So I'm going to build the game, and just create a folder and I'll say build. Okay, good. Now the build is in progress. Okay. Um, it should take a while. The Unity 2021 has a pretty good system of the building. It won't take much time. I'm not going to use any built-in sorry SRPs. All I'm using the build pipeline, and here we go. It's built. Okay, good. Now, I have to go to my resolution and make sure the it's windowed, and I just what's my screen size is, I guess I should divide by 2 and divide by 2. Okay, good. Now I'm going to build it. So it's on the build. It should take a while, like 30 seconds, but right now it won't take that much. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to open the game, and I'm going to create another game as well. So in the next video we are going to add the weapons. Okay, so I'm going to start host. Okay, so you can see that the player is over here. Now if I join it, you can see that that player was here, like you can see, but you can see that it's showing the very odd results. The player is the moving. So this problem is based on our scripts, and we will adjust the script in the next video. Stay tuned. So you can see that I'm moving the camera here, and on the next screen it's happening over there as well. So we will control it on the next video. Thank you. Stay tuned.